じゃあ、皆様、こんにちは。本当にね、今、スペシャルゲストよ。本当にすごいスペシャルゲストね。アメリカンリーグ大リーグよ。センター前ね。知ってる？知らないね。バックナンバー48。ディフェンスすごいでしょ。ビッグスマイルでしょ。ハンサムフェイス。
Yes.
知ってる？皆様、本当にね。Today special guest、クロマティさん、チャンネル、クロマティさん。スペシャルゲストね。トリー・ハンターさん。こんにちは。
Hey, how you doing?
Thank you for coming to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. I really enjoy being in your presence.
Man, so what are you doing now?
I'm home, hanging out with the family. I have 3 grandchildren.
Oh, so grandpa.
Yeah, I'm a grandpa. I met 3 times. And so I have 2 5-year-old granddaughters and a 2-year-old grandson. So these guys, they got me running every day, and I've been with them. I'm a teacher now, so I'm teaching.
Oh, sensei! What kind of sensei? Baseball?
I teach baseball, but I'm talking about since we had this pandemic, with this coronavirus. I'm at home teaching my grandkids A's and A, B, and C's and numbers and different words, and so I'm being a teacher right now. Yeah. So I'm kind of like that dad of all trades right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm a granddad of all trades.
Okay. Keep you busy. Torii, you played 19 years. GQ the show. 19 years Dai League the show, and you got drafted 1993 the show. 1993 you got drafted by the Twins, right? Were you happy with the Twins? Were you thinking about another team?
Yes, I definitely was. I was thinking about the Atlanta Braves. I grew up watching Atlanta Braves. Oh. Yeah, that's all we had in Arkansas. I'm from Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and all we had was TBS. We didn't have a major league team in Arkansas, but we could pick up TBS and WGN. And so I watched the Cubs and I watched the Braves, but I was hoping I got drafted by the Braves. Loved Terry Pendleton, coming up. But I fell in love with a guy named Andre Dawson, with the Cubs. Just one guy. I don't like the Cubs too much, but I know one guy I wanted to. He had 49 home runs that year. I think it was 88 or 89. And I watched about 25 of them, and that's how I fell in love. He had a curl, and I had a curl. The curl back in the day, they had the long curl. He had that, and I really, kind of fell in love with him when I saw him with that, and I had one, and I went out and played baseball.
Andre Dawson is my teammate and my homeboy from Miami, and he's somebody who means the world to me. We played together in the minor leagues. We really didn't meet. We both from Miami. We really didn't meet till we got in the batting cages in spring training. We were picking up the balls one by one, and we got to the last ball. We bent down together. He says, "You're Cromartie," and I says, "Yeah, you're Dawson." And from that moment on, it's he means the world to me, Torii. You picked a good one as your idol. I played with him in the minor league. Played together in the major leagues all the years, made me a much better player than I can ever imagine. So you picked a real good one in Andre Dawson.
I definitely copied almost every aspect of his game, as far as the arm. I wanted to throw like him. I wanted to run like him. I know he had a lot of knee surgeries, but I hit with that stiff front leg. That stiff front leg, I hit like that all the way up to like AA, and then they shift me. And changed me a little bit, and I found my niche in that. But I wanted to be Andre Dawson all around, and when I met him, I froze. I met him when he was with the Marlins, had a 32-inch waist, and I met him in spring training, big league camp in 1994 with Kirby Puckett and Dave Winfield, and I almost passed out. I never thought I would pass out in front of anybody. I almost passed out when I met Andre Dawson, and he's been a good friend. 25 years later.
He's one of the greatest guys in the world. You have him by your side. He got your back always. Hey, a little trivia here. A lot of people may know this, may not know this. In high school, man, you played some serious football and basketball, track and field. You did it all. I mean, what made you change from football to baseball?
You know, with football and basketball, I kind of got rid of basketball my junior year. I knew I wasn't going to a Division I school. I played it because it was another sport. After football is over, you go to basketball, baseball, run track. But baseball gave me life experiences. And I was able to travel and go to Mexico, to California, to Korea. And I kind of fell in love with it because it gave me life experiences coming from what we call in America the hood.
So
so I didn't have much growing up, and baseball kind of allowed me to see different things, and it kind of broadened my horizon. So I kind of I didn't love baseball like football, but I think I fell in love because of the experiences that it gave me.
You played for the Minnesota Twins. Did you know Kirby Puckett?
Mentor, you know, my locker, I never forget, in 1994 in Big League Camp, my locker was between Dave Winfield on my left and Kirby Puckett was on my right. And one day Kirby came in, I was 18 years old, and he came in and said, "Hey, I can't see, something's in my eye. Can you open up this envelope?" And I opened it up, and it says $480,000.
Oh,
I'm from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. You know, the average income is $17,000. You're like, whoa. He said, I said, "You make this much a year?" He said, "No, I make that every 2 weeks." The next morning at 6:30 a.m., I'm in the batting cage hitting up the tee, you know, trying to figure out some things. And he was drinking coffee in his shorts and his shower shoes and said, "I knew I'd find you in here after I showed you that check."
Yeah.
And Kirby's been he's been very inspirational, motivational for me throughout my career. And he's somebody that I'm really going to miss. He's like a big brother for me.
You know, Torii, most of the Japanese people, fans and baseball fans around the world, one of your memorable games that you played in the All-Star game, and you made a spectacular catch off one of the biggest home runs hitters of all time, Barry Bonds. And I remember that catch that you made, and I remember Bonds waiting for you to come off the field, and he grabbed you and lifted you off the field there a little bit. What was that like, man?
It was, I mean, think about it. It's the All-Star game, and it's my first All-Star game. I'm 25. Barry Bonds comes to the plate, and they said, "Now hitting Barry Bonds." He hits the ball. I'm running out to the ball, and I saw that it was coming back, and I was able to leap up and catch it. And I'm running in. Ichiro was right next to me. He said something that I never thought he would say. It was pretty funny, actually. It made me laugh. We were running. Both of us were running back in, and I saw Barry. It looked like he was going to give me a high five. And before you know it, sorry about that. Are you there?
Yeah.
Before you know it, he's picking me up, throwing me over his shoulder like a rag doll. And I'm like, wow, this guy's strong. And he threw me back down and told me, great catch, kid. Keep it up. And I thought that was pretty awesome to hear that from Barry Bonds.
When you played for the Twins, you guys never were able to you were almost like a rebuilding team, and, you know, you never got a chance to go to the World Series. Are you disappointed with that a little bit, Torii?
I was very disappointed, actually. I mean, I went to the postseason 7 or 8 times. That's a lot. And I never got to the World Series. Been to the ALCS 4 times, ALDS 4 times, and never got to the World Series. So I had many chances, just never had a chance. I feel like we were underdogs, and we didn't have the pitching. We couldn't match up with the Yankees half the time with the Twins. They had a $190 million payroll. We had a $9 million payroll. So, but we had a lot of heart and a lot of gut. That's why we got to the point where we were in the ALCS or the ALDS. We just didn't have that thing that gets you right over the hump. And, and I think we were a little short in the pitching staff section.
Torii, in 2002, you were part of the Japan-U.S. team, and you came over and you hit a couple of home runs, really made an impression on the Japanese fans here, and I think still impressed to this day. Give me your thoughts on playing here in Japan for your first time and your experience.
It was more of a culture shock as far as they were how did they have holograms as mannequins in the glass? So I'm walking downtown, I'm looking at holograms and not mannequins. You know, they're way more advanced, and I'm like, how is this possible? I got my first massage chair from Japan. It took me a month to get it shipped over here, but I was the first one here with a massage chair. So when I went to Japan, I felt like I was behind. I really wanted to move there because it may help me see things differently. And just the fans in general, 55,000 fans, and they don't leave until the MVP trophy is given out. I couldn't understand that because with the Angels playing there in the seventh inning, people are gone because they don't want to hit the traffic.
Right.
So, you know, but in Japan, those fans stayed there till the MVP trophy was given out every night. And so I really respect those fans over there. They really know the game and love the game of baseball. I just didn't know that was like that. I thought baseball was big in America only. But when you go to Japan, they might be more baseball fans than we are. So I really appreciate what they brought to the table over there when I experienced that.
You have mentioned playing with the Angels you did in 2016, and you had a teammate that's very famous to this day over here in Japan as well, Matsui. You played with Godzilla, right? Played with Goji. Yeah. What was that experience like?
Godzilla he was hilarious. You know, I played against him, was stripped out. I played against him when I was 16 in high school. I had a chance to go to Korea, Seoul, Korea, to play in the Olympics, Junior Olympics. And yes. Matsui was representing Japan, and I was representing the United States. I was in center field, and Matsui was a third baseman. And I remember him hitting balls opposite field, 450 feet, turning on balls 450 feet. I'm like, man, who is this guy? Years later, we play in that Japanese All-Star tour. He's in center field, and with the Yomiuri Giants.
Yes.
And I said, this guy looked like somebody I know, you know, and I remember that. So this from 1992 to 2002, 11 years later, here's this guy. And so when I became teammates with him in 2010 or something like that, 11, I said, man, it was this guy that played third base for the Japanese team in Seoul, Korea. Where is he? And he was like the star because people was following him. He said, that was me. That's me. I'm the guy. I was like, man, I never knew that. He said, but I knew it was you, the center fielder with the USA team. How do you not know it was me? I never knew who the guy was. So we just caught up and we had great conversations. That's how we cleared the air. We kind of not cleared the air, but we kind of just gravitated to each other. He showed me what mochi ice was. He took me to dinner several times. And got me hooked on mochi ice, and to this day I got it in my fridge right now.
Oh, that's great.
Otani's special though.
What's your impression on Otani-san?
I feel like he's gonna have to pick one, either pitching or hitting.
Which one you like?
Burned out.
I'll see you next time here on Cromatie.